as well, so a lot of dust flying around, but that breeze is easing as the high pressure continues to slip south across the UK for the rest of this week. But as well as being dry, it's also cloudier today. You can see the extent of the cloud, particularly in the north and the east on the satellite picture. The best of the sunshine across Wales and the southwest, which is actually where we've got the highest levels of pollen, tree pollen sufferers at the moment, having those high levels to contend with in the south and the west. Well, plenty of sunshine as well here in Coedpoeth and Wrexham. Further north, though, rather more cloud across North Yorkshire, as you can see. And in fact, the cloud does look quite menacing. It's producing a few showers. They're not numerous, but they are popping up and down across the Pennines, up into southern and central parts of Scotland, one or two in the southeast of Northern Ireland. They could pop up just about anywhere, but you'll be very unlucky if you catch more than one. So for the rest of the afternoon, the cloud tends to increase across England and Wales, perhaps breaks a little bit more in the north, but temperatures are several degrees down on those of yesterday, so it does feel chilly out there, or certainly cooler if you're under the cloud and in the breeze. Now that breeze starts to come down from the north overnight, dragging in more cloud, so limiting the frost somewhat across the north of Scotland, but elsewhere, like last night where we keep the skies clear, it will be chilly again. We could have a touch of frost, certainly ground frost, but it means the best of the sunshine will again be in the morning, and we should see more for Northern Ireland tomorrow. Again, western areas and southern areas seeing the best of the morning sunshine, but I do think we'll see a general increase in cloud tomorrow as the day goes on. And temperatures again struggling just because of that breeze coming down from the north or the northeast. Only 9s and 10s on the east coast. And then through tomorrow night and Wednesday we do it all again, but because that high pressure is slipping southwards, it will be trapping our cloud underneath it. The winds are falling light away from the south coast, so there's nothing to blow the cloud away either. So I think Wednesday again looks as if it'll be on the cool side for most of us, with more limited sunshine even in southern and western areas by that stage. But the high pressure does keep things mostly dry, as you can see. Keen breeze coming across in the south still. But for most of us, it's the same story, that of dry and settled weather right until the end of the working week, if not beyond, Clive.
All right, Helen, thank you for that. Helen Willis there. And a reminder of our top story this lunchtime. Emmanuel Macron wins a second term as French president, vowing to unite a divided country. That's it from me and the team, so goodbye now on BBC One. Time for the news where you are. Have a very good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Some victims of sexual offences in the southwest are having to wait more than a year for their court cases to finish once they've begun. The charity Devon Rape Crisis says the delays can result in victims abandoning the process. Our correspondent Ben Wolvin has more.
And I was using not the most positive coping mechanisms. I was drinking a lot, I was self-harming, and probably not doing anything particularly healthy.
One woman from Devon tells us about the impact of delays to her rape trial.
I basically ended up having to ring my parents and say, come and get me.
She says she waited nearly 3 years from reporting the offence to first seeing a courtroom. Today's figures show the gap between when cases get to court and when those cases are concluded. A BBC investigation has found sexual offences going through Exeter Crown Court taking an average of 366 days. In Truro, the figure was 256, and in Plymouth, 76. The average for England and Wales was 266 days.
A victim can begin to feel really stuck and powerless against this system that they can do nothing about. And that kind of replicates the dynamics of sexual abuse, where a person has felt very powerless and unable to defend themselves, unable to stop it happening, perhaps if they were a child. So the criminal justice system itself is re-traumatizing for the victim.
The woman we spoke to says a strong support system has helped her get back on track, but she's concerned the delays might stop others from coming forward.
Honestly, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't report it again, because if I hadn't reported it, I could have come to a service like Devon Rape Crisis and accessed the support that I needed there and then, rather than waiting for nothing, really.
The Ministry of Justice says it's trying to free up space in the Crown Courts with new legislation to move some less serious cases to magistrates' courts. Ben Wilvin, BBC Spotlight.
A huntmaster whose hounds killed a pet cat on a housing estate near Penzance has had an appeal against his conviction refused. Minnie was killed outside her owner's house by hounds from the Western Hunt in March of last year. In December, John Sampson, the huntmaster, was convicted and fined for being in charge of dogs dangerously out of control. Today, an appeal against conviction and sentence was turned down at Truro Crown Court. There'll be disruption for passengers on the Dartmoor train line from today as work to increase capacity gets underway. The route, which runs between Exeter, Crediton and Oakhampton, reopened last October. The work's expected to last 2 weeks. It will mean trains will be able to run every hour and the service will be faster. Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service is trying to reduce the number of drownings in local waterways. It's highlighting the risk from rivers, lakes and reservoirs, especially when people end up in the water unexpectedly. Claire Woodling's been finding out more.
Well, Devon and Somerset has one of the highest rates of drowning incidents in the country. On average, the service gets called out to 35 water rescue incidents per year, and they're making it their priority to bring that number down. Now, Steve Fisher is the community risk manager here for the service. Can you put this into context for us? How do the number of call-outs to water rescues compare with fire rescues?
So we do attend fewer water rescue incidents throughout the year, but many of these accidental drownings are totally preventable, and that's something that we want to continue to reduce.
Now, the instinct is, if you see somebody fall into the water, to jump in after to help, but the message from the service is don't. Why?
You're quite right. So if you see somebody in the water, we would ask them to call 999. So for inland waterways, they can ask for the fire service. We have the skills and the training to perform that rescue safely. If it's an incident at the coast, then they can ask for the Coast Guard. What we don't want is people entering the water to perform a rescue and the rescuer becoming the casualty.
Steve, thank you. And there will be a number of demonstrations of their rescue equipment throughout the day, and we'll have more on that in our programme this evening. Of course, the Barbican in Plymouth has been chosen as a location for this because there have been water rescue incidents in the past. As we go into the busy summer season, though, the service is hoping there won't be any more.
Absolutely. Thanks so much to Claire Woodling there. Some sports news now, and Exeter City can secure promotion to League One tomorrow night with 2 games to spare. That would give the city a second reason to celebrate, following the Chiefs women's team, who won their first piece of silverware at the weekend, hopefully the first of many. Andy Burkett reports.
Scenes they'll remember for the rest of their lives. In just their second season, the Chiefs women have won a trophy, the first ever Allianz Cup. There were only 7 points between the sides at half-time, but the Chiefs ran away with it after the break to beat Harlequins 57-12. They scored 9 tries in all in front of a healthy crowd, and the chance of a league and cup double is still on. However, it's not looking quite so healthy for the men, who look like they might not qualify for the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. They led at Saracens at half-time, but were pegged back and then overtaken. And despite replacement scrum half Stuart Townsend fighting his way over late on, they ultimately came away with nothing from the 38-22 defeat. It's not all over just yet, but there's already plenty for Rob Baxter to think about over the summer. It's not all over for Exeter City either, but it could be by tomorrow night. Tim Dieng, who was later named in the League Two Team of the Year, gave them the lead over Rochdale, and when Matt Jay added a second, Grecians fans knew they were just 1 win away from being promoted. Barrow are at St James Park tomorrow night, so get the champagne on ice. Plymouth Argyle's destiny is still in their own hands following a battling draw at the league leaders. Luke Jeffcott pounced on a goalkeeping error to put his side ahead, but Wigan replied, beating Michael Cooper, who was later named in the League One Team of the Year, to earn a draw. Argyle go into Saturday's match with the MK Dons, knowing a win should see them into the playoffs. Something the Plymouth City Patriots achieved last night at a packed-out Pavilions. In their first season, they beat Newcastle to secure 8th place and now take on the #1 ranked Leicester Riders in the playoffs. Andy Burkett, BBC Spotlight.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? Can the weather match that, though, Dan?
Yeah, staying dry, actually.
Chilly, though, isn't it?
Quite cool, yeah. Still no real sign of any rain in the forecast, though, for the rest of the month, actually.
Gosh.
Hello there. Good afternoon. Yeah, a lot of sunshine around for most this morning. A bit more cloud building in places, though, but a lot of blue sky still. And we hold on to dry weather, as I say, for much of this week. Just a chance for a few isolated showers around. Other than that, largely dry, some sunny spells. A bit more cloud building in, though, during the week. And we've still got quite a cool wind blowing in, an east or northeasterly wind. And that will pick up for a time again during the middle part of the week. But not a great deal of change from what we had last week. We've still got areas of low pressure moving across Europe, bringing some rain here. High pressure to the north of us, across Greenland, Iceland at the moment. And around that, drawing in those rather cool northeasterly or easterly winds for the rest of the week generally. But not a lot of rainfall around. 1 or 2 showers starting to develop across the south east now. A bit more clouds starting to bubble up elsewhere. We might see a few of those showers just moving a bit further westwards through the afternoon. But a lot of dry weather on the whole, right across the whole country. This afternoon, though, that shower risk does increase. We could get the odd sharp shower, very isolated, though, for most of us staying dry now for the rest of the day, with some further spells of sunshine. Just a bit more cloud building in through the afternoon, and temperatures anywhere between around 13 and 16 Celsius. So if you're away from that rather cool breeze, it shouldn't feel too bad. Where we've got the sunshine and with clear skies, quite a cold night tonight. In fact, we could see temperatures for more eastern parts get down to around 1 or 2 Celsius. So there is a bit of frost for some actually tonight. Maybe the odd mist and fog patch around first thing tomorrow morning. Nothing too much though. A bright start for most, with some good old spells of sunshine then lasting through the day. It should be a dry day, a bit more cloud bubbling up again through the afternoon, much like this afternoon, and temperatures maybe up a little bit, 16, 17, a bit more of a breeze developing through tomorrow. Again, that mini easterly wind, particularly across the Channel into the Channel Islands, just picking up, making it feel a little bit cooler here. The islands have got a lot of sunshine around today. That's lasting through the afternoon too. Temperatures here today only around 13, 14 degrees. A lot of clear sky overnight tonight. A bit of cloud just building in by tomorrow morning, but that should soon clear it during the first part of the day. Tomorrow then brightening up, good long spells of sunshine, then a lot of dry weather for the islands right through this week. And temperatures should just pick up a little bit later in the week. The outlook then, and it is staying mostly dry then for the rest of the week. There's a small chance of an isolated shower every now and then, nothing too much. A bit more cloud though building in from the middle part of the week, but we hold on to those easterly winds. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you again directly. Natalie.
Thank you very much indeed, Dan. Lovely. And that's all from us. We'll be back with Spotlight tonight at 6:30 here on BBC One. Do have a good afternoon. Bye for now.